All right, here we go. All right, let's get us another shot. So the power of pivoting, the so the nature of today's call, you guys know this is our Friday night mindset development call. We do this every second and fourth Friday of the month, just so we can wind down and and have time to just develop our mind as we're on that quest to being successful and and chasing our success and doing the things throughout the week. Whether we're in school, whether we're working, we're dealing with family. Sometimes we just have to back up and just take a break to have our mindset development. Okay, so one of the things that has been on my mind lately is just the fact that I'm watching a lot of us, even including myself, deal with things that's changing in life, things that's not the norm. Okay, things that we would have once been used to or accustomed to doing, and all of a sudden something becomes different. So when you're talking about the power of pivoting, you're talking about embracing the changes in life and the changes in business. Okay. So today we're going to talk about something that touches every last one of us, every last one of us that's on this call, every last one of us that's breathing and, that has life in our body. Every one of us are all dealing with change. Okay. We're dealing with some sort of change, right? Whether it's in life, whether it's life incidents or life altercations that's happening, or whether it's in your business, change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. We can't get past it. We can't get around it. Change happens, okay? But here's the good news. Here's the good news. And this is why I'm here today. I want to just share the good news is that you don't have to feel stuck. You don't have to feel defeated. You don't have to feel uh, 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 you don't have to feel weak. You don't have to feel that you can't make it. You don't have to feel unsuccessful. You don't have to feel, you just don't have to feel out of it. So I'm watching a lot of people just feel out of it because life is happening and changes is happening and you're not understanding change. So the title of today's message is the power of pivoting. It's the power of embracing change. The power of embracing change in life. It's the power of embracing change in business. Okay. And so the key takeaway is simple today is that you have permission to pivot. You have permission to pivot. When change happens, change is not a threat. According to Seth Godin, he wrote a book that says, he once said in his book that change is not a threat. It's not a threat. Change is an opportunity. Okay? Change is an opportunity. Survival, survival is not the goal. Okay? Transformative success is. So change is not the threat, it's an opportunity. And survival, living in a life of just survival, is not the goal. Transformative success is the goal. Okay? So that's the heart, and that's the heartbeat of what I mean about pivoting. Shifting from survival mode into transformation, shifting from survival mode into growth, and then shifting from survival mode into your purpose. Okay. And so sometimes when life is happening, we go into that survival mode. We have to put on this mask. We have to deal with things that in a certain mindset because now we just feel like we just need to survive because we're feeling stuck, we're feeling overwhelmed, we're feeling challenged, right? Right? So when we start learning how to shift from the survival mode into transformation, this is where the power comes. This is where your power comes in at, right? So instead of being stuck, instead of being feeling defeated, you have to learn how to shift. You have to learn how to shift from just that survival mode into transformation. You have to learn how to shift from that place of despair and pain to a place of growth, okay? To a place of development. You have to shift from that confusion and not knowing what's next to a place of purpose. Okay? So the heart, okay, so that's the heart of what I mean by pivoting. So when we hear the word pivot, we might think of failure. We may think of giving up. But in reality, you all, pivoting is not failure. It's not failure. What pivoting is, it's wisdom. It's the courage to make an intentional shift. Okay? It's the courage to make an intentional shift. When you change the way that you see things, the way that you see things will change. It's the shifting of the mind. It's the shifting of the mind. So you have the power. We talked about this before, just having the power to shift your mind from where you are today or this very second to how you want to feel or where you want to be, right? But you have the power to shift and to change that thought process, because whatever a man thinketh, so is he. Okay, so when we hear the word pivot, we think about, we must be failing or we must be giving up because we had a certain plan ahead of us. We had a certain journey ahead of us, right? We had certain intentions ahead of us. I was going to do this business, and I've been putting all of my tools and I've been putting all of my resources in this business. And now all of a sudden my business didn't succeed and it's over with. Now I have to change. I have to pivot. I've been in this relationship for years and years and years, and now, it just, there's just trouble that's happening in our relationship, and, my husband doesn't want me anymore. My wife doesn't want me anymore. Now I have to pivot, right? Even in our young adults, they go through a transformative period where, you go from being a child to having to go into young adulthood and adulthood, and the change that comes along with that, where things was once a certain way and you get to a certain age and now things are beginning to be different. You have to learn how to pivot, right? So, because if you don't, you will be stuck in the same place doing the same thing. Okay. So what does pivot means? It means having the pivoting is the intentional. It's the intentional shift. Okay. It's the intentional shift in direction. When life demands change, right? When life demands change, pivoting is the intentional shift. Okay? And so everything that everything that you come against, right? You come up against. This is a this is a this is a fact, and I don't know about you all, but everything that we come up against as it relates to challenges, sometimes, I don't know about you all, but sometimes we question these challenges, right? And we think that these challenges is there because we're either being punished or we're being we're being tested for some reason, right? And so we get stuck in that mindset. But those challenges are not there to crush you. They're not there to crush you. They're there to build you. It's okay that you started off, in med school, but now you're becoming a lawyer, or you're in college to become a lawyer now. You had to make a shift. It's okay that you maybe can't go to school because of some financial issues. It's okay. It's okay that, some of us are experiencing, health issues. And, of course, we want to get better and we want to do better, but it's okay to learn how to shift and learn adaptability while we in it. Okay? Learn how to adapt while we in it. That's another thing. People think that adapting means accepting. Adapting does not mean accepting. Adapting means that you're learning how to accept what is right now until your change comes, right? Until your change comes. Okay. And so pivoting, there's an art to pivoting because you have to have the mindset and you have to have the courage to do so. You have to have the mindset and you have to have the courage to do so. So instead of staying in the same place, it's about repositioning yourself. It's about repositioning your mind, repositioning yourself for alignment with growth and your purpose, understanding your purpose and your growth. Okay. You have to reposition yourself. Okay. Y'all with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So pivoting is not it's not failure, guys. Learning how to pivot is not failure. It's strictly strategic redirection. That's it. It's redirection. It's strategic redirection. Okay? That's what it is. It's not a sense of failure because you feel like things are not going your way, right? It's just redirection. Okay? It's redirection. So the intentional shift means it refers to a deliberate change in your mindset. It refers to a deliberate change in your behavior. It refers to a direction that's consciously chosen to either achieve your goals or your particular outcomes. It's a conscious direction that's chosen. It's an intentional shift. Career changes, mindset changes, relocation. What about ending toxic relationships? It's about repositioning yourself, right? Repositioning yourself, realigning yourself. Okay? So repositioning, that means that, it refers to the process of changing the way that a person or an organization is perceived. So you want to reposition yourself so you can be looked at and perceived differently. It's about repositioning yourself for alignment to what? To your growth and your purpose. So it's not failure. It's not failure. It's just strategic redirection. And that involves, really altering the course or the focus of a plan or strategy to better align with your current goals or your conditions. So pivoting is a strategic redirection that involves altering the course that you were on, altering the course that you were previously on, right? You all play basketball. I used to play basketball. Believe it or not, I had a mean jump shot. Believe it or not, I can prove it. There's a few people I can still call that can attest to that, right? But you guys remember when you would play ball and you would dribble the ball and you would go up for the jump shot, or you would spin around, or you're trying to make sure you get away from your opponent. One foot stays planted. Okay, they call it your pivot foot, right? That one foot stays pivoted while the body turns to explore new opportunities. And that's what you have to do. in life, when you're strategically redirecting yourself, that you have to stay pivoted. You have to stay planted while your body and your life is looking at new opportunities. That's it. It's just strategic redirection that involves altering the course that you are on. Okay? So you have to access what your current situation is. You have to identify new opportunities. You have to align these resources to support the new direction that you have to now go in. A lot of you all were doing different things, and now you're connecting with G2 Global Network, and you're all excited about the global compliance team. You're excited about the funding opportunity. You're excited about being part of this network and growing. But maybe a year ago you were doing something else that you thought was going to be it. That thing, that one thing that you were looking at, right? And guess what? You found something else. You had to change. You had to pivot from what you were already doing. So it's important that you learn how to pivot, because life is not just a straight path, you all. You all know that. It's filled with unexpected turns, right? I'm looking at one of my friends on here right now. Marcus is here, man. He lost his mother and his father. Rest in peace to your parents. And I know that he's going through right now a pivoting moment right now, where he needs to feel and needs to be able to pivot from the pain that he's in, right? And to be able to adapt to his new norm. And so the people that's learning how to succeed through their challenges are not necessarily the strongest people. They're not necessarily the strongest people. Okay? We all have challenges. I've got my mom on here. I know she's been bedridden for years. She has challenges. I've got health conditions that has had me sick for years, has had me challenged for years, right? That doesn't mean I accept it. And those who succeed and come out of these things are not always the strongest, but they're just the most adaptable. It's adaptability. It's adaptability over strength. Those who succeed are not always the strongest, but they're the most adaptable. Success often hinges on one's ability to adjust, to change, to adjust to circumstances, to adjust to new norms, right? Rather than giving up, rather than caving in, the adaptability kicks in over strength, because sometimes we're not strong enough, but we learn how to adapt in our pain. We learn how to adapt in our change. So we're positioning ourselves, okay? We're positioning ourselves because pivoting allows us to avoid being trapped. Pivoting allows us to avoid being stagnated. It allows us to avoid being placed in one position and creating a ceiling in our life, right? So pivoting allows us to survive. It allows us to grow. It allows us to position ourselves for breakthrough. That's what we're looking for, a breakthrough. When we're going through change and we're going through challenges, what are we looking for? Breakthroughs. We can't wait till that breakthrough happens. We can't wait till that relief happens, right? So positioning for breakthrough is strategically placing ourselves or placing our business in a favorable position to achieve significant progress or innovation. Positioning ourselves for breakthrough is us strategically placing ourselves or our businesses, right, in a favorable position to achieve significant progress or innovation. There's multiple types of breakthroughs. There's personal growth, where we're overcoming fear and we're overcoming our fear of limitation. There's professional breakthroughs that we have, professional success, where we're achieving, certain heights and certain goals, and achieving a promotion, or even getting recognized in our success in our careers. Right? What about innovation? It's different. We position ourselves for breakthroughs. We position ourselves for health breakthroughs. I know I am. I want to have a health breakthrough with my health. I know my mom wants to have a health breakthrough with her health. Right? So we have to change our mindset and eliminate things, watch this, that no longer serve you. This is where we got to get to. We have to get to that point where we have, number one, the guts and the willpower to eliminate the things that no longer serve us. Negative mindsets, toxic relationships. What about unfulfilling jobs or careers? Bad habits, fear of failure. These are things that no longer serve us. Procrastination, right? A lot of us are procrastinators. Overcommitting ourselves. That's me. I do that all the time. Right? Having unrealistic expectations. These are the things that we have to get rid of in our mind, because these things no longer serve us. The relationships and the friendships that we have, that's not only toxic, but it serves us no type of positive reinforcement. Some of us are connected to people that serves us no type of positive reinforcement. So there's 5 common areas of these life pivots. Not only is it in your career, where you're changing the direction of your career, but man, this is the biggest one, is those relationships. Whether it's your business relationship, your personal relationship, your family relationships, we have to start moving away from unhealthy relationships, and start heading toward healthier ones. Health challenges, man. We waking up, we're getting older, things are happening. We're having to adapt to, these new habits, right? Not being able to do this anymore, not being able to do that anymore, having these type of issues now. I'm having these issues, man, right? So health issues, right? Finance, what about money? We have to reset our strategies after having these type of setbacks, right? What kind of setbacks are we having? Huh? What kind of setbacks are you having financially? What about your dreams and your goals? What about that? What about your dreams and your goals? So we have to shift from these unrealistic expectations and these harmful thoughts and these habits to giving ourselves permission to prosper. We have to give ourselves permission to prosper. Okay? So we have to pivot from these negative mindsets to pivoting to, having a healthier thought process. We have to give ourselves permission to prosper. Give ourselves permission to prosper. Give yourself permission to hit your goals in life. Give yourself permission to be creative. Give yourself permission. You got permission to pivot. You got permission to change. You don't have to be stuck because things have changed for you. Because the trajectory has changed. Because the course has changed. Sometimes change is good. Change empowers you if you receive it properly. Your new norm can empower you if you receive it properly. But when you look at your new norm as being harmful, if you look at your new norm as being overwhelming, if you look at your new norm as you being cursed or tried, or all of these things that the world tell us, right? Instead of looking at this as being an empowering moment, you have to give yourself permission to prosper. You have to give yourself permission to change. You don't need to feel guilty for changing a direction, right? You don't have to feel guilty for that. Because you're growing, and our growth requires us to release what no longer serves us. The problem is that we keep trying to hold on to that which no longer serves us. Give yourself a gift. And that gift is to permission to move forward. Give yourself the gift, and that's permission to accept and adapt to this change. Give yourself permission to elevate and to rise above these challenges, no matter what those challenges are. You're not stuck. You are being prepared for something much greater than you're now. I understand that it's painful right now. I understand that it's challenging right now. I understand that you can't see your future right now in the midst of the pain, in the midst of the tears, in the midst of the confusion, and in the midst of the stress. But you have permission today to pivot, to release those things that no longer serve you. To release those things that no longer serve you. To release those people that no longer serve you. Embrace the courage to pivot toward your greatest potential, family. Remember this, that every moment spent being stuck, or every moment spent in stagnation, is a moment you could be soaring like an eagle. It's a moment you could be flying high. Is that moment, every moment that you spent being in that same spot, in that same place, in that same mindset, is the moment that you could be going higher. You could be connecting with great people. You can be doing great things. But yet you're embracing that space of being stuck, feeling as though that place is your new norm. And it might be a norm right now, and you're adapting to it, but you don't have to succumb to it. Give yourself permission to break free from what no longer serves you. And step boldly into your future that's filled with endless possibilities. in endless goals and profound breakthroughs. Okay? Give yourself permission to do that. So when you're navigating change, adopt a growth mindset, family. Challenges are lessons, they're not failures. What you have to ask yourself is, what is this challenge teaching me? What am I learning from this? What am I getting out of this challenge? What's the lesson? There's a message in the mess, right? What am I getting out of this? It's hurting me too bad. What's the outcome here? You have to learn how to build emotional resilience. Emotional resilience. Because life is happening. Life is happening. And when life is happening, you have to use the tools that you have, like prayer. You have to use the tools like accountability partners. You have to use the tools like writing things down, okay, in order to build a emotional resilient mindset. Because resilience transforms setbacks into stepping stones, right? Into stepping stones. Your mind, when you have a resilient mind, those setbacks don't look like setbacks. They look like stepping stones. Every time I have a setback, I look at it as a staircase. I look at it as a stepping stone. Okay? I look at this as a stepping stone. So we have to build emotional resilience in this quest to being successful and learning to go higher and be greater in our life, right? And be greater for others in our family and those that's around us. We have to learn how to build emotional resilience. We shouldn't cave in to everything that happens in life. Everything that happens, we're caving in. I'm throwing in the towel. I can't do this. Because we feel like these setbacks are failures. Instead of looking at these challenges as lessons. Right? We feel like these setbacks are punishments. Instead of looking at these setbacks as setups, as stepping stones. So we have to build emotional resilience in order to go through these challenges. This is where adaptability comes in at. This is why we on these calls every second and fourth Friday. Because we're building emotional resilience. Why? Because we're getting the information that feeds the mindset to build this emotional resilience. We have to adapt, and we have to adapt to change. Stuff is new now. Things that we were able to do yesterday, we can't do it again today. We have to create a flexible plan. Right? We ought to be flexible. Flexibility allows innovation when things don't go as planned. Right? Plans should bend without breaking. You should be flexible. You should have a support system, mentors, family, peers, right? That's why you're here. Okay? A lot of you all said I'm your mentor. You say the G2 Global is your family. We are your peers. You want to have that positive support system where you're going to receive wisdom and encouragement. Think about if we gather together to gossip around, and we got together just to gossip about folks, right? What if that was this circle? Right, that wouldn't be fruitful. And that's what some of you all have to watch, the circles that you're in. You have to watch the conversations that you're talking about on the phone. You have to watch who you're talking to on the phone. And you have to celebrate, right? You have to celebrate your small wins and support, have people that support to help you see, these blind spots, the things that you can't see. That's another thing. You got to have people around you, right, that can see the blind spots, the things that you can't see. I tell people on my team all the time, especially on our executive team, even to my wife, I tell them, I'm just glad because you guys can see things I can't see. A lot of things you guys think I can see that I don't necessarily see. But because I trust the eyes that I have around me, I have to have a support system that can help me to see those things that I can't see. And that's what you have to build. You have to build multiple pairs of eyes. Celebrate those small wins. Celebrate these small wins. Man, you guys are having a great time. I'm watching you all build in our, on our compliance team, our G2 Global Network. I'm watching small wins. Even in your personal life, I know some of your personal stories. I'm watching small wins. See, each win that you have, it builds momentum. Each win that you have, it builds confidence. But the problem is that most of you all don't know what you're capable of. You don't know what you're capable of because you've been stagnated and you've been buried inside of your challenges, right? So sometimes momentum stops suddenly at a halt, right? But what does that mean? That don't mean that you're out the game. That don't mean that you throw in the towel. When things come to a stop suddenly and everything was going great and all of a sudden, boom, right? This is a chance for reflection. What happened? Recalibration. This is a chance for renewal, right? So when that course that you are on, it comes to a halt, you need to have encouragement from trusted advisors. You need to be able to pick up the phone or get into your class, go to your pastor, your dad, your uncles, or whoever that would give you fruitful encouragement. That's who you have to connect to. Stop talking to people that has no power. Stop talking to people that has no encouragement themselves and needs encouragement themselves, right? Stop talking to these people that can't give you what it is that you're looking for. Success is not final. Final is not, and final is not, a failure is not fatal. Remember that. Winston Churchill said that. The message of intelligence is the ability to change. And this is one of my favorite ones from Nelson Mandela, that it always seems impossible until it's done. People, said what I wasn't going to do in life, right? And it always seems impossible. It seems impossible to others that can't see. And they can't see because they're trapped. And they can't see their next. They can't see their newness. They can't see their way out. So lessons of being able to pivot is that change brings clarity. Redirection and redirecting your mind and redirecting your trajectory leads to opportunity. You're missing the boat. You're missing the opportunity because you're failing to redirect your thinking. You're failing to redirect your mindset. You're failing to let go of things that no longer serve you. And when you're fearful of change, it limits your growth. When you're fearful of change, you can't grow. You can't move. You can't move from your right now to your next because you're scared. You're fearful. And fear is simply false evidence appearing real. It's an illusion. You bought into an illusion, something that's not even real. Embracing pivots creates resilience for your future challenges. And listen, every halt and every change is just a doorway to a new chapter in your life. Listen, a caterpillar spends most of its life crawling, right? Most of its life crawling. Never, ever, ever imagining that it could fly. A caterpillar spends most of its life crawling, never thinking that it could fly. Because one day its journey, okay, it comes to a halt inside of a cocoon. And he's inside of that cocoon and he thinks that's the end of his journey. He thinks that that's it because he's outgrown that place. He's outgrown that space. So to the caterpillar, in his caterpillar mind, he feels like he's at the end of the road. He feels like he's in darkness. He feels like he's in isolation. He feels like he's in stillness, right? But in that place of stillness, in that place of darkness, in that place of isolation, transformation is happening. In that place where he's feeling like he's at his end, transformation is happening. And when he gets it and he realizes that he's no longer trapped in a cocoon, that's when he emerges. That's when he flies high. And this is when the caterpillar no longer crawls anymore, he flies. He flies because he recognizes that he's no longer trapped in a cocoon where once he felt like he was at his end. He once felt like he was in darkness. He once felt like he was being isolated. He felt like he was in a still place. But it was transformation happening. And that's what we're dealing with right now, you and I. We feel like that we are in a cocoon sometimes, that we can't get out of that cocoon. We can't get out of that place of being trapped. We can't get out of that place that has us captured and captivated, right? Okay? And so we don't know that we can fly. We don't know that we can fly because we're not getting the information. We're not taking in the information. If we just only had information, we'll know that we don't have to be in the cocoon. That caterpillar didn't have the information, so he didn't know what was going to happen next. He bought into the darkness. He bought into the isolation. He bought into the stillness. But he didn't buy into the transformation. And that's what I want you all to get out of this training today, is that I want you to buy into the transformation. I want you to buy into the transformation. Stop holding on to the darkness and stop holding on to the isolation, whether it's in your personal life, your career, your finances. Stop holding on to that. You're going through a transformation, and that transformation is happening right before your eyes. And when it happens, you're not going to crawl anymore. You're not going to be on the ground wiggling anymore. You're going to be flying high in the sky, which is what we talk about all the time with the eagle. You're going to learn how to fly and not crawl. This change in life is not to destroy you. It's to transform you. It's to transform you. So don't get discouraged. Transform. Pivot. You have the right to pivot. You have permission to pivot. You don't have permission to stay stagnated. You don't have permission to stay in a place of drought. You don't have a permission to stay in a place of impoverishment. You don't have that permission, but you do have permission to prosper. It's all in your mindset. It's all in your thinking. It's what you say that you are. It's what you say that you're going to do. It's what you think about yourself. Don't be like that caterpillar in the cocoon that feels trapped and don't know he can't fly. You can fly, and you can fly at high altitudes. You have permission to pivot. You have permission to be successful. You have permission to step out on purpose and reach those goals. You have permission to transform. Stop being stagnated. Stop being stuck. Throw up those wings up. No matter what life is throwing you, no matter the changes that's happening, be adaptable. Learn how to move with the wave. Okay? Learn how to move with the change. It's just creating growth for you, right? It's just creating resilience for you. It's just opening up a new door and a new chapter for you. Embrace it. Okay? And get the message out of the mess. All right? Change your mindset. This is Mindset Friday. This is our Reset Friday. Today we're learning how to pivot, going through changes in life and in our business and accepting these changes and not being stuck. Now you got permission to purpose. Listen, this is your guy, Mo, G2 Global Network. I hope that you've got a lot of understanding and you've got a lot of energy out of this training for today. And just remember, as you get off of this call, wherever you're about to go back into in your own personal life, that you have permission to pivot. All right? You got permission to pivot. Wings up, everyone. Thank you for showing up on the
Wings
training.
up.
Wings up, wings up. I will
Wings
see
up,
you
wings
all
up. Awesome.
soon.
Team.
Awesome.
Wings
Awesome.
up.
Love
Wings
it.
up, wings up.
That's right.
You got permission to pivot, you all.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good.
You're welcome.
Definitely, Big Mo.